Hello. What's up? Been a minute. Been a long minute. I know. So, forgive me. um, Kind of wanted to just jump in here and got home early today from that job, and I know I haven't been around to really do much of anything. Just like a lot of work, a lot of thoughts about stuff. But I've been trying to do my market analysis at night when I've gotten in. I've taken a couple of positions, so this is actually the practice account. I'll show you the combine. I'm actually down on the combine. To tell you the truth, I'll show you my performance metrics. So it's not a whole lot. Total PNL we're down like 113, and as you can see, a couple of well, how do I want to say this? Um, Even though the win percentage is 66, so I've taken three trades over about about 2.5 weeks. Um, One I actually closed in profit on the red day, but it was minimal. I basically just went to a risk off position. Wasn't a whole lot, and then Friday yesterday, or actually I'm sorry, Thursday night, not Friday, because I wasn't here. So it would have been Thursday night after Globex, where 6 p.m. open. I took that off the table because price just wasn't. While how do I want to say it? While it was moving back to a liquidity point, or basically a liquidity level, I wasn't confident in it, so I just kind of closed it out where it was, and then just kind of said, "The hell with it." So, but so how'd the week play out? We had what do we have this week? Unemployment. We had CPI. Um, had something else. Um, I don't recall whether or not. I think no, I didn't. I didn't. I was trying to basically do like a video from my phone, and I was gonna upload it to the channel, and then that didn't really work out, and then I kind of just scrapped it. So my idea, and I know that the week already played out, but I can share this with you, and it's not like one of those, hindsight kind of things like, yeah, it played out exactly like I thought. No, actually, it didn't. Because what I was thinking initially with this week, and I can speak on this because my anticipation was, so this is Monday, right? Just make sure my head's not in the way. This is basically, so this is Friday's candle, right? This was Friday, right? Maybe you can just throw some annotations on here. Friday. So this was Friday's range, right? So when Monday opened and it took Friday high, like again, this is just a daily time frame. So a lot of times you could say, okay, daily high lows are in some cases critical liquidity levels and points, right? I'm a candle range theory kind of guy. But within, again, and you hear me say this like a million times, within the proper context, like I'm that guy, right? So initially understanding that this is a CPI, week, I think in basically in my paper trade, I may have taken like a Globex position well after, because again, like the last several weeks, like those three positions you see that I took in my combine were all like after 6 p.m. because I'm gone from my house anywhere from 3:30 a.m. to like as late as maybe 5:30 a.m. So I'm gone the entire day. So I don't look at positions. I don't look at anything on my phone or anything when I'm not here. Now that doesn't mean I'm not thinking about it, because when I get home, like kind of like a kid with a new gaming console or whatnot. Like that's the first thing I want to, see and what happened, what have you. But I digress. So just understanding that we had CPI this week, I was like, okay, don't really know what Monday's gonna do. And previously I'd mentioned Monday, not really interested in doing anything, right? Just kind of want to see what happens and where the range, what Monday's candle range is. So when, you know, I did see the high taken from Friday and we had this massive move back in and then we closed, I said, okay, there's a possibility like we'd have to see. And again, I was speaking specifically about Globex times. Everything after 6 p.m. Let the market close, let whatever happens during the day, whatever that is, right? Monday, Tuesday, Globex, let's see what happens, right? So this was kind of like the head fake in some ways because when we opened Globex or, Monday night, Tuesday, if you will, we saw this move back up, which eventually, or not eventually, essentially was a wick, right? And then you see Monday get taken out. You see the Monday low get taken out. Now, again, this is obviously the entire range of Tuesday, but we had CPI on Wednesday. So I was probably looking back here. And I say probably because just to the naked eye, I could say, okay, well, Friday tapped back in. So this inevitably for somebody would have been like, okay, well, we've already, reached back into fair value. So clearly we could come up and, we'll probably just be long. I was looking at this to see, okay, do we reach a consummate encroachment level? Do we take a 50? Do we close below? Right? But realistically, this was kind of just, I guess you could call it like eye candy for me. It was like an area just to be aware of. But my thought process was not this. My thought process was we were going to actually have, just within the context of a weekly profile, I thought we were going to end up with a Wednesday low of the week. That's what I thought. So I was incorrect in my predisposition of what I thought the market was going to do. Now, the other idea and the other thought was if I looked at this as a candle range, I also looked at, okay, well, Tuesday closed below Monday, but it closed inside. This Friday candle is irrelevant at this point because basically the buy and sell side liquidity of that have been taken. So it's moot at this point. The Monday high buy side liquidity is still relevant, but I wasn't confident because I don't know that you can see this. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this body closure. And I'm just gonna come over here. I'm trying to move my magnet out of the way so that doesn't get the body closure is not within the body of the Monday candle. So that is where like when I basically I got home after 6 Globex, and it was a little I want to say it might have been closer to like maybe a little after 7. So this is still forming, right? This is still like what is essentially this wick is still like I'm looking at candle structure on basically like a 5-minute time frame. So you're still getting some sells in there more or less more so than the buys at that point. So this was what led me to believe, okay, well, if CPI is going to be coming up in the morning, maybe the buys are the predisposition for the market to sell off because we were getting some sells in and then you get a run back and then I kind of just again hands off left it alone wasn't really sure. Got up, I saw that I think at that point we weren't necessarily ranging, but I believe Asia put in some not a consolidated range, but it put in a decent range. And then London, by the time I woke up and get ready to leave, London had taken, I believe, Asia high, right? But it didn't take the Asia range low at that point. So again, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'll go to work, maybe, come back or come home or whatever. And that's off the table. But at the same time, I was also not necessarily looking at anything other than this right here. I was back looking, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, looking at Monday candle range high. Why? Just on the idea, right? Just the idea. I didn't take anything. So obviously, I'm not going to say to my dismay or anything like that, but obviously, we had a Tuesday low of the week. Wednesday pushed, which, you know, in my mind, Thursday was a bit of a pullback, and Friday was the push beyond. So at this point, going into this upcoming week, uh, what might we be looking for? Hard to see, hard to tell, hard to say. Um, Personally, if I was just looking at this from a daily, the same thing that I said back based on that Tuesday to Monday, there's a little bit of a difference, and I will point to that here for you. There are a couple of areas that you could look for. So Friday's candle has actually souped Thursday. If I can get this ray to come down and all right. I'm not having a pain in my chest. I just kind of like I don't know why. I'm like bracing myself. Got a pain in my chest. Okay, so kind of the same type of situation. So from again, just a range perspective, just a candle range perspective, from this weekly profile, what do we have? We kind of have a soup of Wednesday, and we definitely have a soup of Thursday. So this is a closure back inside, and you could, again, not financial advice. Don't believe me. I'm the guy that's working, 12, 16 hours a day, whatever. So I'm hardly here. But, you know, if you're watching and you're like, hey, anybody have any ideas or anything I could potentially, possibly be looking for, looking at? Like, is there something that could be on the horizon that we could be looking to take or whatever? I mean, this is it's plausible and it's possible. So again, Friday, clear Wednesday, clears Thursday. You're back inside. You could see a run back to Thursday candle range low. Ultimately, if you stay inside Wednesday, and again, just looking at the range, if that's all we're looking at, let's change that to blue real quick, just for simplicity's sake. Just change it to blue. Okay. And then we'll just drop down here real quick. I don't want to save that because it's gonna ruin my John Madden chart. Let's go to a 15. That'll show us some decent price action. You don't necessarily have to see the like here, but my head's not completely in a way so you can see. We also had basically a gap up where this is kind of filled in. So some of the price action from yesterday was to come back and take care of this price void or gap up. It did not completely close this price in, which again is a part of, maybe it could be a part of your supposition as to you know why would you consider that range? Why would you consider looking at a specific range? So again, remember, this is Thursday's range, right? This is Wednesday's. So right now, what are we in? You're inside Wednesday, and technically you're inside Thursday as well. Now, this is a 15 minute. Obviously, price is fractal. Um, Again, not financial advice, just sharing. I don't even know if I want to call it education, but just sharing some ideas here. You've got an area of fair value here. So Sunday open PM. What do you have? You might have an intermediary protected high here. Essentially, knowing that obviously this is buy side liquidity, at some point it's going to get taken. However, within the context of how price is delivered, this could be, like I said, an intermediary or short term protected high. There is no fair value here, but you do have, what do we have up here? You've got a SIBI here. Well, actually, you don't. You really don't, because that's taken care of here. Yeah, that's taken care of here. So yeah, you've got no fair value, okay, and the fair value that you did have here, which, man, all the gajujus, the gajush. Okay, I'm gonna try not to make this overly confusing, but I have to put this here so you could see it, just so you could see it. All right, it's only so you could see it. Okay, so this is a bearish fair value gap. It's bearish fair value, right? Price came up here, inversed, it inverted it, right? So you had an inversion fair value gap here. But when it inverted, created that inversion, it also created bullish fair value here, right? And you had a wick through consummate encroachment, but a closure above, right? A wick through the consummate encroachment, closure above, and then this bullish fair value that was the inversion here did what here? Now you've got your bullish fair value gap that is now become an inversion for this bearish. So I say all of that to say this. You could potentially look for Globex or market open, let's just say, on Friday if you wanted to go into a paper trade or whatever. Um, that's gonna be big. But I'm just a framework of the idea, not the risk management. Whatever your risk management is, your risk management. I would put I would be comfortable putting my stop above here and just being conservative. Um, Conservative. You could target this low. That's about a two. That's almost a 3 to 1. It's a 2.87 to 1 RR. And like I said, whatever you're like, I think that's like 37 or 38 handles. So I'm not suggesting. I'm talking about just the framework, not the actual execution. But that would be a potential frame. Um, the third candle of this fair value, you could use the consummate encroachment. You could just watch how price delivers or whatever at the open. Um, Another thing that you could do to kind of determine or scale into a position um, is to wait for the 6 p.m. open, wait for a buy and a sell side within that the opening range, and then to kind of help you gather some idea of what the risk management would look like. Um, for me, I would if I was looking to see if this type of a scenario were to play out with price. Honestly, I would want to see the sell side taken first and maybe lean on the supposition or the idea that we get a Judas swing. So essentially, let the 6 p.m. range form, right? Um, I'll just let's see. Can I do it with raise? You guys okay if I do it with raise? because some people hear what I'm saying and not like they're like "Oh, winning day, like you won't get it. That was bad. I'm sorry, but if you know, you know, and then if you don't, then it wasn't offensive. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So let's presume we're just presuming, okay? Um, and I'll just move this out of the way. So, but we'll just presume like these two, like that's your. Let's say that is your. This is your buy side, right? And this is your sell side. So I would be comfortable seeing my sell side run out first, right? And then eventually, when the buy side gets taken, I'm not looking for buys. I'm looking for, okay, you've taken that. It may come up and take it again and do something like this, right? I'd be waiting for a Judas swing. And again, the reasoning and the thought process behind that is again the overall structure that's being presented, right? Inside Wednesday daily candle range, we've already taken a high. So again, we're looking at that as an intermediary or short-term protected high. You're not looking for that to be run, okay? You've closed also inside of Thursday's range. However, um, you could it's not gonna hurt you to see this range run out again long, right? Kind of like what you have here. So we had Wednesday taken, right? And see what you have here. You've got a wick, right? It's literally like it meant nothing. It's just kind of like, hey, peekaboo. Just wanted to let you know we're still here. So it's not completely an invalidation or beyond the scope or the pale of reasoning to see price, as I said, operate and act in the form of a Judas swing here. You almost want to see it. Now, does that have to happen? No. It could literally take out the sell side, come up, take buy side. It could literally soup the buy side and run short. Or conversely, it could open, it could take the buy side, it could come down, take the sell side, come back up, retest, tap this, drop off the face of the earth. Like, there are a couple of scenarios, right? The scenario that I'm most interested in, that I would be most interested in, is potentially to see this play out, to see Thursday candle range or daily liquidity, sell side liquidity run out because we're inside of Wednesday. That's one idea, right? For you to look at for potential Globex. So yeah, there's that. Let's look at a weekly real quick. I said real quick, right? You're like, dude, stop playing with us. I miss you guys. That's why the videos are long. So I should have done a live, huh? Well, I actually here's the thing. I got a surprise. I got a surprise for you. Unlike everybody else on YouTube, I'm not gonna be like, but you gotta stay till the end. You don't. So I'm thinking that what we'll do is well, I just had like an extreme thought, but we're not gonna do that because the whole idea for me is like, I have to rest. I need to rest because I've been working like today. Well, between today and tomorrow will be 12 days straight. So we're not trying to make it a fortnight. I don't need those kind of records in my life. So Monday we may actually do like a live stream where I'll get the chat up and we'll go through a couple of different things. I'll try to set some stuff up maybe tomorrow if I get home at a decent time. But yeah, I think I think that'll be good. I'll enjoy it. Even if we don't take a position, we might take a position and we lose or win or whatever. Like, I think it'll be cool to do. Um, Maybe just do the whole day because I'm hardly ever on doing anything. But yeah, like I said, I think that'll be cool. All right. So weekly, obviously, again, all time high. Like no disputing that. We will have fair value here to move back into, but if we're looking at the idea or the pretense or the concept of range theory or what have you, um, your I can't speak for them, but I know that maybe some would look at this and say, "There's no reason for you to look for a short. There's no reason to look for a short. The market is clearly showing you it's going up. There's no reason to look for a short." Uh, they may very well be right. They'll be right. Y'all do remember I'm a contrarian. Yes. Okay. So yeah. Um. Yeah. I've realized that yes, that idea would be from a weekly standpoint. Yes, they would be 1,000,000% correct. Why? Well, yes, we've taken this candle range high. We've taken buy side from here. This candle has clearly closed above. So why on earth? Why on earth would we be looking for shorts? From a weekly standpoint and a weekly perspective, I might concur that eh, eh, probably shouldn't be. Probably shouldn't. But let me point your attention to said Exhibit A. Well, we souped this candle range high and closed well back inside. And then if you were looking to come down here, it ran against you. So I referenced this in relationship to this, meaning when you have the concept of, hey, well that took this liquidity and it closed back inside it, so we're short, right? Not all the time. So if there was somebody that was a contrarian back here that said, yeah, I don't really, yeah, and they had a basis or a concept under which they basically were going to run with that and say, yeah, no, we're not really short there. Um, we're not really short because you could follow this back across all time high, right? Week close, took that high. Some people would say that there's profit taking at this level. They say whatever they're going to say. We'll wait for the pullback or the retracement for a continuation, and then that's been run out. So um, that could be a thought process. Like I said, after this week, you're going to have fair value that rests back here. So there is a possibility, there is a potential that ears itching. You may see some retracement in this area. This week coming up is also going to be for a lot of people that haven't already like called it a year. Um, this upcoming week will be the last probably full trading week for a lot of traders before Christmas. So that being said, and that being the case, um, that might be an area. It might be an interesting area for a weekly to look at. Let's look at a month. Ugh. 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 That looks nasty. Let's not look at a month. So just go back to the daily. So yeah, so daily this week, keep it simple. Inside of Wednesday, technically inside of Thursday, potentially look to see if we could take out Thursday low, and even maybe Wednesday low. That's the idea. And how that lines up again fractally because we were looking at this week and we were looking at fair value here. Let's just put the fair value on for from the weekly. and see how that corresponds or correlates to the daily, just so you have a frame of reference, right? You've got fair value here too, which doesn't encourage a commitment for price to consummate encroachment, but it could stop at a level of fair value here. But again, price being fractal, higher time frame will prevail. Someone that's not looking at the weekly would be looking at this fair value, and if we ended up fractally seeing basically sell side characteristics and price being delivered below this level, a lot of people would funnel into the sells, but not so fast. This is literally just a place where obviously you didn't get equal participation. So it could show a brief rally, but also the thing to remember is we framed out this upcoming week based on last week, right? So having said that, this week may play out back into this area, but you don't really know what the results of the upcoming or preceding price is going to be, because you have to kind of go back and filter through the data. A lot of you already know that, so forgive me. I'm not talking to anybody like they're off the rocker, like they don't understand. But some people will look at this and say, well, if it's a higher time frame, it's just gonna come here and then it's gonna is it? You don't know that. We don't know, right? Fair value on the daily here too. But is it really? Because that's fair and this is fair. Like it's covering. We don't know. So I would be on the side this week of looking for shorts again. Um, Again, the contrarian in me. Yes, price on a weekly says that it should just continue to run long. It could, right? I even said as much. Globex open tomorrow at 6 p.m. What did I say? Sell side, then the buy side. But the Judas is what I would be looking for. I'd be looking for a Judas and in short. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. All right. So I think that is going to do it for me. Um, Depending on what time I'm done tomorrow, maybe I'll jump on a live tomorrow, but absolutely 100% will be live. I would say probably maybe 7:30 Monday morning. That way we can mark out Asia and London, and then we can set up and see what the pre 8:30 buy side sell side liquidity levels are in relationship to last week. Keep this framework up as a guide, right? Basically, this could be like our guide into the week. Um, I'll probably have my other chart loaded up too that has all of my John Madden um, annotations and the millions and millions of horizontal rays with all of the annotations associated with those as well. And yeah, we'll just have a ray of a good time. That's corny. I'm sorry, I couldn't help that, but whatever. So, anyhows, hope you guys and gals had a good time. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you all back at some point, maybe tomorrow, but absolutely we'll see you on Monday. All right. So take care. I'll see you soon.